Consider what I have said. For now, I think I will retire to my room. Warden, when you have a moment, I ask that you speak to me in private.
Well, she's quite spirited. I remember when Loghain first brought her to Denerim. Poor Galen was a good boy, but Anora was always 2 steps ahead. Had him jumping when she snapped since the first time she batted her eyelashes. I cannot help thinking she may be trouble, but we should keep her close, all the same.
Yeah, I don't actually think that she's too bad. Even though our Eamon really doesn't like her. Yeah, why do you think she's trouble?
This is an alliance of convenience. For the moment, we are united against Loghain. Be careful how much trust you place in her. I do not for a moment think Anora means to give up her power easily. Still, I would rather have her where we can watch her than actively working for Loghain.
Yeah, what if, you know, looking at 3, if she's single now. So what if we get Alistair and Anora? Oh, that would be great for us. Yeah, I think she would also make a really good ruler because, well, at least she's really well spoken. She's probably really good at politics, but as for her person, I don't know. Yeah, but aren't we planning to depose her?
Anora was a capable administrator for Kaelin's lands, but she has not a drop of royal blood. We did not fight the Orlesians all those years just to lose our royal line in a single generation. Not when there's a surviving son of the blood.
Yeah, maybe Alistair should marry Anora.
Are you serious? No, never mind. I don't even want to hear the rest of this. You two just keep talking about me. I'm going to stand over here with my fingers in my ears.
That would certainly solve a lot of problems, and put forth the strongest argument before the Landsmeet to remove Loghain from power. With Therin blood on the throne, and Anora's wisdom and popularity, Ferelden could present the most united front against the Blight. Unfortunately, the marriage would never happen, unless they both agreed to it. And I suspect that might take a lot of persuading to get past her pride and his humility.
I've persuaded some people over this journey, so yeah. Why is it so important to put Merrick's son on the throne?
Ferelden was first united by Calenhad, the Silver Knight. For 400 years, his descendants have ruled Ferelden. That was the heritage we preserved from the Orlesians, and it is the heritage I will fight for as long as one of Calenhad's descendants still lives. Without that to unite us, we could scatter back to warring Terniers.
Okay. Let's talk about something else.
We certainly have a great deal to plan.
We do. I've got work to do.
Of course, if I might make a suggestion, go speak with Anora. She will either be a powerful ally or a powerful enemy, and the sooner we know which she is, the better.
Well, for now she's an ally, as you actually pointed out yourself. I also really need to talk to Alistair, because I do want them to marry. That, I think, would be the best. Morgan sitting there. Books, which I don't care about. Riordan standing in that same room. I did not even notice. Hi.
Hello again, friend. It looks as though you're no worse for wear after your stay in Fort Draken.
Not really, no. Are these your papers?
I wondered what Howe did with them. Yes, these are my records. Names of the dead I recognized at Ostergar. What was left of Duncan's recruitment records. Some encrypted copies of the joining ritual that I retrieved from our Denerim vault. Those at least ought to have stayed private.
What vault?
It's located just off the Market District in the northern alley past the Old Noble Tavern. I'll sketch out the code which will let you pass the lock wheel. Inside you can take your pick of whatever equipment remains. It is the stockpile the Wardens have kept for centuries, for the defense of Denerim.
I have never heard of that. That is cool. I've never heard of that. I was hoping I could learn a bit more about Grey Wardens.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you what I know, but it seems to me that you've picked the important parts up yourself. Be firm in your beliefs, protect people from their own ignorance, and be as loyal as you can to your brothers, even knowing you'll share their deaths.
Have you ever been to the fortress in Weishaupt?
Once only, and I'd rather not go again. It's far, lad, and very foreign. The Wardens there, they fight darkspawn like you and me, but they're shaped by the winters there in the forest. They're a cold group and don't care like they should about the rest of the world. Their king is weak, and many Anders look to the Wardens to rule. I hate to say this, but some of them seem to want it that way.
How many Wardens are there?
It's tough to say. Only the fortress in Weishaupt has every record. But there are certainly a few dozen or hundreds in every nation in Thedas. The Anderfells are home to over 1,000. It's almost like the Archdemon chose Ferelden deliberately, knowing how unguarded it is.
Oh, it probably did, right? Because it can sense that, so... So why has it been so long since the last blight?
Archdemons don't awaken on their own, you know. It takes the Darkspawn, tunneling and tunneling, searching for centuries to find one. And with no one to lead them, it must be sheer chance, or maybe instinct, which leads them. What's surprising isn't that it takes so long between blights. What's surprising is that they succeed at all. But I imagine the old gods call to them. And it's that voice in the darkness which drives them through so many generations.
How were the Wardens founded?
It was near 1,200 years ago, and no one knows for sure, except that it began with a group of Anders soldiers. Apparently they defected from their king's army, vowing that fighting the Blight was more important, and traveled all the way to Tevinter themselves. They were the first ones to track down the Archdemon Dumat, and the ones to slay him, although none survived the battle. But they had picked up followers by then, and it was they who formally founded the Order, and were recognized by Thedas.
I guess that's all for now.
The important thing to remember is, none of that matters. When you're facing Darkspawn, all you need to know is to stop them at all costs.
Okay. He's a very nice guy to talk to, in my opinion. Well, let's talk to Alistair first.
I haven't been here in a while. They've changed the dining room. Ask away.
I have some questions.
Of course.
What? Right. So, what can a Templar do exactly? Is one of those things how you would actually unlock a specialization, which I already had. So, I don't want to get into any of these though. So, never mind. I guess I first got to talk to Anora, who is, I believe, in the room here. Yes, she is.
Hello again, Warden. It is good that you came to speak with me. I will be blunt. I can see that your voice will be a strong one in days to come. It is to you that Eamon listens, and with good reason. My father must be stopped, but once that is done, Ferelden will need a ruler. I would welcome your support for my throne.
So why should I support you?
For years, I have ruled this kingdom as Kaelin's queen. As much as they loved Kaelin, all of the Banner knew this to be so. Kaelin was a good man, but what is needed now is not another good man, but a good ruler. I sent Alina here not solely because I thought I needed help, but because I saw an opportunity for us both. I need your support, Warden, and you will need mine.
And you think you're a better candidate than Alistair?
Do you disagree? You are a fellow Grey Warden. What do you think of Alistair's potential to rule? Never mind his willingness.
I actually think he would be really good at it. Let's see, what is the proper answer here? Being a good ruler requires more than ambition.
Alistair seems like a kind, well-meaning man, and biddable enough. These are admirable qualities, if not kingly ones. He also seems to be a fine Grey Warden, which is exactly why he should remain one and serve the kingdom by defeating the Darkspawn.
Just how do you know so much about him?
Calen knew of Alistair. It was Arl Eamon that kept Alistair out of the courts, as Merrick had desired. Oh, there are some who would follow Alistair out of respect for his Therin blood. The others would see this as Eamon grabbing for power. Who else do you think Alistair would turn to for help? Eventually, the nobility would return to the old days of constant warring with each other. Alistair's weakness would destroy everything Merrick built.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, you don't seem to like Alistair much.
My feelings towards Alistair have nothing to do with it. I barely know him. I simply believe that I am what this country needs. I will fight for what I believe. Would Alistair do the same? Thus, I say again, I would welcome your support for the throne if you would give it.
Are you proposing an alliance?
That is exactly what I am proposing. When the time comes, you support my bid in the Landsmeet to remain on the throne. You will be seen as my father's enemy, yet you will be in support of his daughter. You will be seen as supporting the interests of Ferelden, as opposed to solely those of the Grey Wardens. In return, I add my voice to yours. Do you see? Together we can do what alone we cannot.
She is a friggin' politician, she really is. Why not simply marry Alistair? The best of both worlds.
Ignoring that the man looks so much like Calen, my recently dead husband, if you'll recall, my main fear is that he might govern like Calen as well. But it is true that Alistair has Therin blood. To some, this is more important even than practical considerations. A union might be considered a compromise, but is this something Alistair even desires?
Not really. I think I could convince him.
Let me say this. If Alistair is willing to stand back and allow me to continue governing the nation, then I would be willing to have him as my king. It is my understanding that governing does not appeal to him anyhow. If that is so, this is a compromise I can live with.
Yeah, I will speak to him then.
Do so. I will be interested to hear what he has to say.
Same here. Alistair, buddy.
So I'm guessing someone told Anora I was planning to steal her throne. She has a nasty glare. She wants to be queen. I get it. I don't trust her any more than her father, but I get it.
What do you think about her?
They say that Anora is smart, determined. She's supposedly the one who's really ruled here, not Calen. She's her father's daughter. Me? I say that's where the problem lies. People like her and her father always think they're the only ones who can fix things. So everyone should just stay out of their way. What do you think? When the Landsmeet comes, you might even have a say.
Oh, I will probably have a say, right? I mean, I've built up a reputation, built up an army. Yeah. What I think, though, is that I think you should marry Anora.
Marry her? As in marriage? As in be her husband? You've spoken to her about this? You did, didn't you? I can't say I like the idea at all. Why should I even consider something like this?
For the country. Yeah, I think this is the best compromise for peace. And, you know, I'm not entirely trusting her, but Alistair can, you know, keep her in check, kind of.